So you might be wondering, does the trust that you set up for your child qualify as a special needs trust? You may have a trust set up, but then later on your child became disabled and you're wondering, does our current trust really provide what our newly disabled child needs? Or I had a trust set up from an attorney who's not a special needs attorney. Is that sufficient? How do I know? In today's video, I'm explaining to you how to figure out if your trust qualifies as a special needs trust. Okay, so here's what happens. When the parents die, then typically the trust is funded. So whenever the special needs trust is funded for your child, the people who run the public benefits programs that your child benefits from, they want to see a copy of the trust. So the successor trustee, the new manager of the trust, is required to send a copy of the special needs trust over to Department of Healthcare Services or to Social Security Administration, depending on, again, which public benefits they're receiving. And then somebody at one of those departments will look over a copy of the trust and they'll decide, is this a properly drafted special needs trust and the child can continue to receive public benefits? Or is it not? Does it become a countable asset for that child? And now the child can't receive those benefits anymore. Well, you can imagine this is a really, really important issue to figure out. And so we want to find out before it's too late, before that trust gets funded. You want to know, is this trust really going to work for my child who really relies on these public benefits? Okay, so here are the elements that the public benefits officer is going to look for when they look over your trust. The first thing they're going to look to see is whether it's a revocable or irrevocable trust. A special needs trust, when it's funded, it needs to become irrevocable, especially so that the beneficiary can't change it. Okay, so that's another thing. The disabled beneficiary cannot revoke the trust. They can't change the trust, amend the trust, and very importantly, they can't act as trustee of their trust. Okay, that's what really makes it a special needs trust, that the child can't access the money. And because they can't get at the money, it doesn't count as their money for public benefits programs. Another thing that the trust should say to clarify that it is a special needs trust is that the money in the trust is meant to supplement, but not to supplant the public benefits. So let me just give a quick example. So let's say your child is receiving Medi-Cal and they go to a doctor who bills out for Medi-Cal. The child or the special needs trust should not pay that Medi-Cal bill because the government's going to pay it. Now that doesn't mean that you have to go to a doctor that accepts Medi-Cal. You can go to any doctor you want. You're just not supposed to be paying things that the government's already paying for. So the next thing I wanted to talk about that the officer is going to look for is look at the distribution standard. How are trustees able to make distributions for that disabled person? Okay, well, it's supposed to say that the trustee has full discretion over all the trust assets. They can't be forced to spend anything. And what it's not supposed to say is that it adheres to the HEMS standard, which HEMS stands for Health, Education, Maintenance, and Support, because courts have found that payments according to a HEMS standard are required because everybody's entitled to something, right? Especially for their maintenance and support. So because there's that requirement, then a special needs trust with HEMS standard language in there actually makes the trust a countable resource and your child loses their benefits. So this is actually really important. It may just look like words on a form, but they really do make a difference. Okay, so there's a few interesting situations that may come up. One of them is, what if the disabled beneficiary wants to be able to decide where money goes after she passes away? Well, she can. That's called a power of appointment. And you can give a beneficiary, at least in California under current law, you can give a beneficiary of a special needs trust the power to redirect the money that's left in the special needs trust after that person dies. Now, this is a testamentary power of appointment. It's only after they die. It's not during their lifetime. If they can redirect it during their lifetime, then it's a countable asset. We don't want that. But you can give, especially for those beneficiaries who are high functioning. And for some reason, they're still receiving benefits, but they have the capacity to know, hey, I really want the money left to go to my long-term partner or to this charity that I really love. And the parents can decide when setting up that special needs trust whether they want to include that language. Okay, so there's some families out there who have more than one disabled child. Perhaps they have 2 children or even 3 children with various disabilities, or they're all on the spectrum. So then sometimes people wonder, well, do I need to set up one special needs trust for each child? Well, no, actually, you can have more than one beneficiary of a special needs trust. So people might worry, oh, is this going to disqualify my trust? No, you can have more than one beneficiary. And actually, you can have a beneficiary who doesn't have disabilities, but there's other reasons why I don't usually suggest that. So if you have a special needs trust set up for your child and you want to make sure it's going to work right, you should visit a special needs attorney who can really look over that trust and tell you why something is a special needs trust or not. True story. I know another attorney who had drafted a special needs trust provision in their client's estate plan, and then their client asked, well, why is this a special needs trust? And they couldn't answer that question. I want you to go to somebody who can answer that question, who can say, you see these terms, this is what makes the trust a special needs trust, and you can have confidence that your child will receive their benefits, and then you can sleep at night. If you're thinking of hiring a special needs trust attorney, please watch this video over here, and I'll see you there.